and it was just getting nuts. By the end of like 6, 7 months, my mate and I, one night, something, I don't know what happened energetically, but we ran out of the house screaming to the park down the road.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Phoenix Awakened podcast. I'm your host Alison.
Hi everyone, I'm Jason.
And this is episode number 8. And in this episode, Jason is going to discuss how he started his own brand, Infinite Magic, and his healing, Chiron Healing. So Jason, how did this all start?
Well, when I was writing it down, I didn't realise how massive the journey was and how it went from one thing into another, and I never guessed it would turn out like this, to be honest. It's a lot. There's a lot. So I've gone pretty far back.
Yeah.
I've gone back to when I was 18.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how far to go back, so we'll see how we go.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time I was 18, living with my father and brother in a house in the Mount Dandenongs, and that was great. Then things shifted with my father, and he pretty much said, "You gotta get out of the house. You're done." And I'm like, okay. So then I went to live with my mother, and I was living with her for quite a few years. And as that was happening, that was fine and that was great. I really appreciate the support. And then she was getting set up to move to Indonesia with her husband, and they were going to live there, and and they ended up being there for like 10 years. As this was happening, I started to go through spiritual awakenings. So I would have been in my probably early 20s.
Okay.
Had a relationship breakdown as well with her for about 4 years. So things started shifting a lot, and I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't really spiritual per se. Always interested as a child about intuition, about predicting stuff and seeing visions and stuff like that in the clouds, and that's a whole new topic. It's another topic. So I started to meditate, just laying there meditating, and next thing you know, I just had this bang, huge awakening. Then the shit started hitting the fan, because by then my mother and her husband were, I believe, in Indonesia pretty much, or just about to go there, and so I was then renting the house. They put a spa bath in, like a big beautiful spa in the backyard, and chaos pretty much with the weather, trying to get it done over like a month. Just wouldn't stop raining. It was just ridiculous. So what had happened, and I didn't know, was until I got, because I was going dippy. I was seeing stuff, feeling stuff. I was pretty much losing my mind because I was just become so overwhelmed with energy. So if people have experienced this, you know what I mean. And you probably experienced something similar.
Oh, absolutely.
So I had the Ghostbusters. I found a couple. They were called the Ghostbusters of the Mount Dandenongs.
Yeah.
So they came in and they were checking, because as well I had a mate that moved in as well, because I couldn't afford to pay for the rent by myself. So I had a mate come in, and so we went halvies, which was good. He was sensitive as well. Very psychic, very powerful psychic. So then he got onto somebody that he knew. We got given this number to the Ghostbusters, so I rang them and told them what was going on. The first thing they said is like, "Are you guys on drugs?" It's like, no, we're not on drugs. We're meditating 5 hours a day, and we're just got some really massive issues here, and I think I'm going bloody nuts. And my mate's going nuts too, so I'm thinking it's a bit more serious than just me having some drugs. He's a vegetarian. I'm semi-veggie. So there's no way we're on drugs. Can you please come around and help us out? So they said, yeah, we'll do that. And they didn't charge us either.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
They came around. They were awesome people. I was just like, wow, you guys are awesome. Very powerful couple. So they came around and they did checks around the house, and they said, well, one of the issues you've got is the spa bath that your stepfather put in has upset the ley lines of the property.
Oh, like shit.
So, and it was spirit ley lines.
Oh.
I had no clue that there were spirit ley lines, and it was upsetting the whole property. So I was picking up all this. So I had somebody was hanging around the house 24/7. Somebody else was a female hanging around, and I'm just like, just ridiculous. So we were trying to channel these spirits, and it was just getting nuts. By the end of like 6-7 months, my mate and I, one night, something, I don't know what happened energetically, but we ran out of the house screaming to the park down the road. And after that, he said, I can't do it anymore. He left. I'm thinking, bloody hell. Okay. And I'm thinking, I'm by myself now. I'm going to have to deal with this by myself. So then that's when I became a student of the Ghostbusters. So they said, you a lot of gifts, a lot of talents. You haven't got a clue what you're doing. And I said, no, not really. So I spent quite a few years, and they were teaching me about all sorts of stuff, which was really amazing and phenomenal. And they were even doing rescues on the astral with me as well.
Wow.
I was just getting myself in all types of stuff. And I didn't have a clue. I was just this young guy awakening to such a massive level. So they said, look, you're going to have to find a teacher. Okay, found a teacher after another 6 months. And when I found her, I was just told, you need crystals. And I was getting counselling from another medium as well. And so there was so much that went on. I was just craziness. So pretty much finally found a teacher, and I stayed with her for 13 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah. I had no clue I was going to be there. I said after 10 weeks, I said, thanks for your help, love. Catch you later. She goes, but you're doing really well. You need to stick around because there's a lot more that you can learn. And I was like, okay. So that's when I ended up being with her for 13 years. And she had a lot of students. She was a brilliant teacher, bloody taskmaster, really crazy because we did massive amount of shadow work, healing work, ego development work. We did like so much. We did phenomenon work, channeling, mediumship, psychic development, clairvoyance, clear audience. We did like everything. So you can just imagine 13 years of that, working with the karmic lords every week for a couple of years. That was just ridiculous. But during I'd say probably 5 years into it or something like that, or maybe less, I'm not too sure about the time frame, for some reason I was getting told by her that I need to start up a business because I was big into artwork. So that's when I found myself doing airbrush artwork for, I think it was 5-8 years or something, and I was doing classes, stuff like that, and I even had my first solo exhibition, and I loved that. That was awesome. And I had to find a name. She said, you're gonna have to find a business name. I was thinking, what am I going to call myself? So literally I spent a week or two just trying to find a name, and then I just had popped up in my head Infinite Magic. I'm thinking, okay, well, yeah, I've got some personal magic, and I like the infinite as well. And so
I like how you said you got some personal magic.
yeah, well, at the time, I mean, I was completely a beginner, and I spent so much time just in this class every week. I worked so hard to work on me because I had so much stuff going on, family, and I had to let go of my friends, and I had to really step into a whole new me. So that was really interesting to do. It was hard. So I then called myself Infinite Magic, and it was basically about art.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing to do with healings, nothing to do with readings.
Okay, so how did it turn from Infinite Magic, which was supposed to be art, airbrushing art, into what it is today?
So I think around about the time, because the art gallery was about year 2000 when I had my my art show, and I just became a really good healer. I found out that my biggest gift was a healer, and I was really good at that time, doing readings as well because we train like crazy for healing work, just spiritual healing. Started doing healings at home, doing readings from home. I was just renting this little shacky thing. I was still painting like non-stop. I was in the art studio, creating an art studio. I was painting, probably 15, 20 hours a week, plus doing reads and doing healings. It's just spiritual healings. But I just felt really confident, really natural with it. It's like, wow, I just had this knowing that I was able to do the healing work. The reads were fun, but I really loved the healing work because I felt like I could do more of the healings. Everybody needs a healing. So I started with that. So then I just put in, really saw my accountant and I said, I'm getting paid for doing these healings and reads and plus, a bit of artwork. And he goes, well, just put it all together. It's just easier. So I just put everything under Infinite Magic.
Okay.
Because I just thought it just worked with the healings and the reads and the New Age sector and stuff like that. So then I came involved with, really got involved with healing. I did a lot of Reiki stuff. Reiki stuff just didn't cut it for me. I just like, no, I need something more complex. And not just take away Reiki because Reiki is really, really great. And I did crystal healings. It's like, I can introduce crystals as well. And I started to do a little crystal elixirs to help as well. And so then I started doing alchemy work of that and making my own alchemy water and because I just can't stop just creating things. So that's pretty much how it started. Then I got into Chiron healing. I just saw this lady just doing this technique. And I was just thinking, what the hell is this woman doing with her hands? I just watched her for half a day working on people. She talked about Chiron and who he was and the philosophy of that. And many of us were pretty smitten by this technique called Chiron healing. So I just went up to her and I said, I want to learn this now. I don't know what it is. I just love what you're doing. It feels amazing. I hadn't had a healing from her, but just by watching her, I just like, this was just something really special about it and nothing like it around. Next thing you know, there was 10 of us lining up to do classes with her. So 4 years later...
Wow.
Took us, not quite 4, but 3, nearly 4 years. The amount of training we had to do anatomy and physiology. We had to do level 1, level 2, level 3 twice. We had to do case studies, 100 of those. I mean, it was like 7 days a week. So I had no life really, no friendships, no partnerships, no nothing. I just studied like a madman with this healing technique because I just knew it was something I had to do. And then I didn't do much reads after that. I just stopped doing readings for everybody else out there that doesn't know what reads are. And because I was doing readings anyway, a little bit with the healing, picking up stuff anyway. And it's like, well, I'm doing pretty much that with the healing anyway. I just concentrate on that. Became a qualified practitioner in Chiron healing. And by this stage would have been 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 years. So training for 17 years.
Wow.
And I just went gangbuster and started doing healings in New Age shops a few days a week. By then I was doing back into my trade work as a painter, house painter, which I love so much. Love the 3D world. And then I got an opportunity to teach a class. So then I started doing what I've been trained to do for 13 years for myself, which I didn't want to do. I didn't want to be a teacher at all. It's like, I don't want to do the teaching. It's too much responsibility. I'm not, I don't think I'm good enough for that. I just didn't feel like I could do it. But the universe manifested for me without me even trying, starting up a class with 10 psychic medium women.
Wow.
Been doing that for pretty much half their lives, 20 years or something. And I'm this young guy trying to run this class, and they're all just looking at me going, who's this young dude? Who does he think he is teaching a class? And I had to really step up. crap myself, totally crap myself. And I just pretty much did the same thing I got taught, which was amazing.
Yeah.
The meditations, I got meditations, the philosophies, and the development work that we were taught was just phenomenal. This teacher that we studied under, she's a phenomenal lady. And so that's when I stepped into teaching for 8 years, classes, and then it all changed. And so that's pretty much where I'm at now. And then you came along and we started hooking up and, living together and stuff like that. This is like now, another 6 years later. Started doing a Jayson YouTube station, Jayson Infinite Magic YouTube station, and doing a lot of stuff there. And then we stepped into doing like an AJ living, which is Alison Jayson living.
Yeah.
Just something fun.
Yeah.
So then we decided to do White Phoenix podcast. That didn't work out, wasn't meant to be. Mm-hmm. And then we started just now on a new podcast called Phoenix Awakened. Mm-hmm. And that was your baby, which we've got that in a podcast. Mm-hmm. And here I am today, still doing healings, still just doing a few classes at the moment, and still doing painting and decorating a little bit. Mm-hmm. And now we're just jumping into this. Yeah.
Can you tell me, what did your teacher say when you told her of the business name that you were going to do?
She sat there, looked at me for a moment or two, paused again and said, "Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you're worthy of that." And I went, thanks. Because remember, I was young and she was pretty much my guru. I mean, she was pretty big in that day. And I, to get like a yes, you are worthy of that for me back in that time, because I had no idea. I was like, okay, let's go. Let's jump into it. And it was really about me just being the artist. And I was told, I was going to be this well-known artist and all this sort of stuff, and I was going to spray paint cars with airbrush, stuff like that. None of that played out at all. I directly went into, after the artwork, I'm still doing artwork today. I'm in a gallery and done, a lot of stuff with that. And I love art. That's who I am as well. But the healer just took over.
Yeah. Your healing ability is, for me, because I've had a lot of healings from you, your healing ability is by far one of the best healing abilities that I have ever felt. And we're very particular about who we see.
Yeah.
Who we see for healings, because we know what happens, we know what goes on in the energetic worlds, and we all know, we do know that not everyone in the energetic world is who they say they are. So for me, and I love watching you work.
It's very visual.
It is.
Healing.
It is a very visual healing. And you've also got a healing demo on your YouTube channel, Jayson Infinite Magic, and we've just done another one that we're going to be posting.
Yeah, part 2, demo
part
2.
2, yeah, on this weekend coming, which I think is going to be the 2nd or the 3rd of July. So, and I just love watching, because I think you said that I'm probably one of the very few people that actually have my eyes open during the healing, because I'm just watching you all the time.
Yeah, everybody else passes out. Alison's on the table watching to see what I'm doing.
Because it's just so amazing. Your hands just have a mind of their own sometimes.
I've done a lot of healings over the years, and I've had a lot of practice, and I pretty much, the healing work that I do is a Chiron foundation.
Yeah.
But I've also added some of my own over the years.
Yeah.
So just to make it even more so, there's over 100 procedures that I can do of the Chiron healing. I don't even bother much with that anymore. It's just all intentional work, and I just use the foundation of the diamonds and triangles and the sweeps and the balances and essences if I need them. And it's such a phenomenal healing modality, but I just had to take it for me to the next level.
Yeah.
Because I'm always trying to do that.
And I think that's actually a really good thing, because instead of limiting yourself and keeping yourself to just the base structure of Chiron healing, you've actually developed it into a combination of Chiron healing and your own healing in a way as well, because you've learned so much. And you've learned a lot of things, even with us just being together for the last 6 years. We've learned so much.
Gone through so much together.
Exactly. And because of all the stuff that you have learned, and to getting healings from you now, and also being the recorder of the most recent healing that we've just done, you're able to do things that not a lot of healers can do. And I mean no offense to the healers out there. I just know your healing and I know your ability.
I knew a little while ago, a few years ago, whatever it was, time frame ago, because my timelines and time frames are all over the place. Because I'm, step more into multidimensional stuff. So for me to be in 3D realm is a little bit challenging, like with you.
So let's talk about when I first met you. And this is not 6 years ago. I first met you at the Guardian Angel, which was in Bayswater. So for everyone else out there, there was this amazing new age shop called the Guardian Angel that was local to me and local to a lot of other people. And that was when I first met Jayson doing a healing. He was also doing classes as well. And tell us about that time during, because when I went there, this place was like Christmas every single day, almost.
It was a very popular shop, and I was teaching classes in a kitchen at somebody's house, because I couldn't do it from my space, and I was given 10 weeks to do the class, and I had to find another location. So I started walking around literally the streets trying to find locations to set up the same class but another location. So I went to Upway, which was, I don't know, it was Heart and Soul or something like that in Upper Ferntree Gully. She said, "Look, I can't help you out. I'm pretty much full. Go and see this lady in Bayswater. Her name's Shirley, Guardian Angel." I went, okay, didn't know that existed. Went there and I said, "Look, I've got this class. I'm a healer. I just want to rent a space." And she's like, "No, I can't help you with that." And I was like, "Okay, fine." So I walked out, and then the assistant, Belinda, ran out. She said, if you need a space, you can have my house." I'm thinking, okay. She said, "I don't know what it is about you, but you're glowing blue, you're special, and you got to do what you got to do." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate that." And I said, "Oh, look, let me have a think." And the next thing you know, I got a phone call within 48 hours saying from Shirley, "Please come into our shop. How many days do you want? And yeah, welcome in." So I started doing, I think it was a couple of days doing my healing work, and then I was doing just one night a week teaching this class, and I just went crazy from there. And I was still doing trade work as well. So I was doing 5 days of trade work. I was doing 4 days of trade work, 2 days of healing, because I think it was like a Thursday and a Saturday or something, and then I was teaching classes at night, because I went from one class to 2 classes. So then I did that. I was there for 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I was thinking about it the other day. It just went so fast. And Shirley and Belinda were so magnificent. And then the Guardian Angel really took off from there. There was other mediums there. They were all amazing, and other healers and practitioners and stuff like that. She just was able to gather some really high quality people.
That place was amazing.
People loved it.
I loved it. It was an amazing place to be. It was like the central hub for that area.
Yeah. And a lot of shops weren't too keen about that, because everybody was going to the Guardian and not. But I mean, they just had this magic quality. Shirley was such a special soul, and she really cared. And she was, I'm trying to think of, not a podiatrist, reflexologist.
Yes, I think
Yeah, Shirley was a reflexologist and a nurse as well, and Belinda was a reader, and she had her gifts and talents. And it's just one of those magical places. But it started to go downhill a little bit, I think because there's a train station and there was all this stuff, roadwork, stuff like that. So she said, look, she had to sort of move on. So the shop closed down. Everybody was devastated.
Yeah, I was devastated. I remember that.
Yeah. But with that, I then had a student that I helped out a little bit, and she ran a Bitzer.
Yeah.
And she started a cafe in Upway.
Yeah.
And I did the painting there, and I was able to have a room there, and very clever lady.
Yeah.
Who created a Bitzer. And so I was there for, I think, a couple of years. It might have been longer. I'm not too sure. But that eventually closed down as well. So, well, So all these places that were just stunning places to go. A Bitzer was great because it had a cafe. You could go and eat there.
I have been to a Bitzer a few times, and I think I also had a healing from you at a Bitzer as well, because I remember going into a Bitzer and then going into the back room, and this back room was like massive. I don't think I've ever seen like a healing room so big before.
Well, she changed it from a few little rooms, and then because I didn't work there much after that, and then she changed it back to the original back room, and that's when it was just like, wow, this is it. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately a storm came and it flooded the whole place or something. It's like because she was wanting me to be part owners with her and my past partner, but we just didn't have the massive amount of money to help to do that, because I would have done that. But looking at it now, it wasn't meant to do that.
It wasn't meant to be. No. And it's, that's right. I just remembered, it was interesting that you said when you first started doing Infinite Magic and you were told that you were going to be a famous artist. And so, which, I still feel that you can be, still well known in the art world and everything like that. But instead of doing spray painting cars, here you are with me doing podcasts instead. And I find that really interesting how our timeline changes, but you have carried Infinite Magic with you for 20 years or 20 odd years or something like that.
Yeah, 22, maybe more. I'm not too sure, but it's that's why I pretty much see myself now as Jayson Infinite Magic. I don't really see myself so much as Jayson Munn anymore.
Yeah.
I've stepped into that identity of Jayson Infinite Magic really within myself. So it's been a really big part of who I am. So in the podcast stuff, it's just another. I was just saying to you the other day, I said it's just another string on our bow. It's another tool in the toolbox. My toolbox is quite big now.
It is.
And yours
really,
is growing too.
Yeah, it is really big.
So with other shops, I also worked a little bit in Croydon area. In another New Age shop with the ladies there, Divine Heart and Soul.
Yeah, I think that's what they're called, yeah.
Joyce and Fia, beautiful ladies, really supportive, very gifted, talented people. I've met some amazing people on my journey. I really have. I've had such amazing peoples and mentors and clients, beautiful clients. I've been really blessed with people that I've done work with. And then I met up with some people from NatVR as well, and they want me to work with them. And so I did a lot of healing work for the whole team and the CEOs. And that was really amazing as well. Beautiful business, beautiful people, just learn a lot. And then from there, I ended up doing another massive chiro clinic in the city. That was challenging because the owner was considered to be a bit of a guru. Awesome bloke, loved him. Simon, g'day mate. But I was then start to be called the witch doctor.
Oh. Why is that?
Because I was doing stuff that these chiros just didn't understand.
Oh.
Because I'd say stuff like, I would be cheeky and say, I can do your stuff. I don't need to touch anyone. I can just do it online, a spine adjustment, do this and do that. So they were getting a little bit threatened, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I was being cocky for a purpose because I was being the masculine, I guess I felt unworthy in a way because it was such a well-known place and a lot of, famous people would go there and get adjusted.
Yeah.
So I was trying to, I guess, step up,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I met, I don't know, somebody from Fox FM podcast in Melbourne as well. And that was like, oh, okay. And Darren Hinch used to go there and like all these people used to go there and get a lot of adjustments from Simon.
Okay.
And I'm like, geez, I really hit the big league.
Yeah.
But I just didn't have enough clientele to keep it going because the room rent was a lot.
Yeah. Because it's in the city, of course it would be.
Yeah, and I had to charge a lot more.
Yeah.
To keep myself, feeding myself and my family and paying for the room rent and stuff like that. So I had to leave and then went back and then had all this other stuff play out, so I had to go again. So then I was able to have a space for myself here with us, and which is a lot easier.
It would be a lot easier because the only rent that you're paying is the house rent.
Yeah, pretty much. And so it's been, just talking about it now on this format, it's really interesting just to look back and how much I've done, and really honoured to be a part of that and share the healing energy and share the love with everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I always, as a kid, I want to save the planet.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I was like, I'm here to save the planet, save the world. I don't have that philosophy anymore. I think everybody needs to save themselves.
Well, that's a good point because we all need to actually work on ourselves. We all need to save ourselves. We all need to be responsible for our own actions.
Yeah.
Because no one is going to come and save us.
Yeah. But we're here, my healing work and everything we're doing, even with this podcast, we just want to just, in our way, help as many people as we can in different platforms for people to help themselves and still share the love and share our experiences. And that's why we're doing the part 2 demo for the healing for YouTube. And it's like, I think I'm ready to share my story with everyone with Infinite.
Yeah.
Because it's such a big story. And I mean, you'll hear the experiences that we're sharing at the moment, because this is number 8. So we've got 7 different experiences that we've shared.
And we've got many more.
We've got, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, we've got so many.
So, yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Jayson, for sharing your story, especially with Infinite Magic as well. If anyone is interested, and I highly recommend that you check out Jayson's healing demo on Jayson Infinite Magic. That's Jayson Infinite Magic on YouTube. And even if you're not interested in the whole healing side of things, but I'm sure you guys you will absolutely be able to feel the energy come through on the screen, because I've watched it so many times. I recorded one with him, and as I was editing, the energy coming through the screen as I was editing was absolutely amazing. So I highly recommend that you guys watch that because you won't be sorry.
Yeah, when I was sitting next to you and I was doing another edit, doing something else, I could feel the energy from when you're doing the editing.
Absolutely.
And I was like, wow, okay, this is... Because I was wrecked after doing that healing, 40-minute healing, still trying to film and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And thank you to Amanda, who was on the table. Really
thank
appreciate.
You so much, Amanda.
She's a beautiful, beautiful lady. Another beautiful soul, I know. And it was... So even if you're watching on YouTube, just chill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lay on the couch and just watch it, because there will be a lot of healing energy that you'll receive. And I didn't quite understand that until that demo too.
Yeah. And one of the best comments that Jayson ever received on that first healing demo was from a gamer, the Canadian gamer, and he just, I'm not sure if it's a male or a female. This person just said he doesn't really care what kind of healing pseudoscience thing Jayson is doing. It's just that this Canadian gamer felt so relaxed, and that is the best compliment I could possibly think of, because it's someone who probably isn't into healing but felt that healing energy come through.
Yeah, so thanks for that, gamer.
Yeah, thanks, Canadian gamer.
Yeah.
Whoever you are.
Do love gaming.
So what do you reckon? Good to go? All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Jayson Infinite Magic.
Thank you for listening, everyone.
And we will catch you in the next one.
Love and blessings and healings to everyone.
See you later.
Bye.